I am Dr. Ramya. As Sandesh has mentioned, I've been working with Thanal since 2023, and my major field of work is medicine, and I handle administration and medical operations in Bangalore mainly. So today we would be discussing a lot of things, but mainly one thing: if we are actually inclusive and are we acting in the way we really think we are. We all think we are good people, and whatever we say, we do are with good intentions also. So when it comes to professional setup, in terms of gender, in terms of sensitivity, including everybody, treating everybody similarly, or with the same due respect everybody deserves, keeping in mind, though they are from different gender, different place, different religion, region, we still try to be inclusive and adapt them. So this is very important trait when it comes to especially administrators and people at reporting level. At Thanal, we also believe that we want to safeguard everybody's dignity, respect, and make sure everybody is heard also. So that's why we would be having this discussion about leading inclusive teams, where we will talk about gender sensitivity, what is workplace safety, and how we could be inclusive also. If you have any kind of doubt or you want to discuss something, please let me know at any point of time. Okay. So before we start with this, I want to ask a few questions. Okay, a little reflection about what you actually think before the session, and we would also have a small reflection at the end of the session. I would recommend, if you have a paper, pen, phone with you where you can type or even write it, it would be really helpful just to kind of reflect. We are not going to raise hands, talk here, or try to force somebody to answer something. We're just going to sit here, reflect what we are feeling, and identify if it is really correct or if there is any other constructive change that we could do. Okay, so take 20 seconds of your time. I hope you're all in a space where you can actually focus on this. There's no need to answer. There's no need to, say anything out loud. There is no pressure here. Okay. So the question is, have you ever stayed silent in a meeting? Though you feel like you have something very important to say, it's a very good idea. We all have meetings, no? Every single day we attend meetings. We are either conducting or hosting the meeting, or you're part of it. So think to yourself, have you ever stayed very silent? It could be for a lot of reasons, but think of a reason why you stay silent in that meeting. Okay. Am I clear? Is everybody able to follow my language? Okay, thank you. So when we think about why we will have to discuss all of these things, it starts with a simple question. We all have voices. We talk to our family, our friends, within our circle. But when it comes to workplace or in a public stage, why do we hesitate to say things that we actually feel is important? Correct? So it could be for various reasons. Maybe somebody else was already talking during the meeting. Yeah, and then you feel shy in general as a person, you feel shy to express, and there is a space in the meeting where you don't feel really comfortable. Okay, these are very common things that we go through. And a very important question we think to ourselves: what might others think? Will they think, oh, why did he or she tell that? Oh, this is not important. Okay, this is important. Even when you talk, there is also a feeling like we all think, no, what if I tell this and nobody listens to it? What if nobody respects it? So these are some small things we have in mind. Okay, you feel like your idea is not valued, or you are about to say that, you try to raise your hand, and then quickly the topic shifted and it went to another thing. I hope we all have faced it, because I have faced it multiple times during meetings when I want to say something. I'm there, taking all my courage and trying to click that unmute button, but then it happens. Okay. So this is all part of our workplace things, the culture. It is not necessarily because of bias, but it is either individual bias. We think we are not telling something that's very important or comfortable, or it's also sometimes with the team or administrators or leaders like you who are hosting the meeting. Are we really giving the space for everybody to speak up? So that's what we will be discussing. Okay. So the key topics that we are focusing today would be about gender sensitivity in workplace, intersectionality and diverse experiences, and how we can prevent harm and also to ensure that there is a safe workplace for everybody from every sector. Which means we also have to identify what are the causes of discomfort, if there are any signs of risk of any safety or danger issues that are present in the team. So what would be the responsible way to respond to the danger, or how we can report it, and what would be the support system? And how, as a team, we all can build an inclusive work environment for everybody to feel safe. So basically, we just had Women's Day on 8th of March, correct? On behalf of that, we want to reflect if we are actually gender sensitive, if we are keeping all the differences aside and treating everybody with inclusivity and common respect that we should hold, and also see how we can be a little bit better than what we are currently. So gender sensitivity, I hope you all know what a gender is, correct? And feel free to unmute anytime. And I am very happy to listen to people and have an interactive session. But we will also move forward with the agenda. Somebody want to tell anything about gender, or what is your opinion of it? Okay. So when we talk about gender, especially from an Indian background, we usually think it's male, female, or the other gender. But when it comes to inclusivity and taking all gender into account, we also have multiple spectrum of gender, and we don't just stick with male, female, transgender, others. No, and even when we are filling out forms, when we are considering people, we only have two category of male or female, or sometimes transgender, but it doesn't only fit to that category, and there is a very big spectrum that we should also be aware of. And keeping all that aside, when we are aware of that, okay, these people exist, they have different sexual orientation, they identify as different gender, that is fine. So what do we do about it? What are the biases that we face on a regular time? Okay, we can tell maybe a male co-worker is behaving in a way that's very feminine. Okay, how are we going to identify it? When a person is talking in a very deep tone and they are very rigid and they don't say hi, or they just say hi, so those kind of even greeting or salutations, there are differences. So when we recognize that, how do we react? That is where the difference comes. When we are stereotyping them, oh, you're acting like a girl, you're acting like a boy. So when we tell that, there we are breaking the gender sensitivity and we are leaning more towards stereotypes. It's not something that's very rare. We often do this even between our family, friends, circle, and even sometimes at work. Why there are gossips about certain things. Why is this person behaving like a girl? Why is this person behaving like a boy? So that question, that thought, that expression has to be challenged, because a person has all the right to behave in a way they are comfortable without disturbing others, or without creating any kind of harmful situation or a hostile environment to the area or to the team members. So as long as that is there, it is very important to recognize and also to respect any kind of gender related association. So stereotyping somebody saying, oh, he's like a boy is extremely insensitive, and that is not something we want to practice also. So it's very important to recognize what are the stereotypes, what kind of bias that we have in the team, and also to respect everybody's individual decision. Dressing up, applying makeup, the way they walk, the way they behave, everything should be considered. I know it is very difficult for us when we are fostered in a way that has certain gender roles, like girls cook, boys work. So now it has all changed. We all work together. Women are in the working sector. Men are also deciding to, carry out household chores. So the dynamics is changing, but is it changing in a very progressive way as it is required? That also we'll have to think. So we make sure there is equal and equitable participation. See, equal is when you are each person, for example, a person A has 10 rupees, person B has 3 rupees. Okay, how are you going to make it even? So that is how the gender equity or giving equal opportunity also works. You don't want to give another 10 rupee to person A, so he will have 20 rupee. And then you don't want to give only another 10 rupees, so the person B will have only 13 rupees. So the equity is that we make sure both of them get equal opportunity and also in a way that is required for them. Okay. So at the end, we are aiming that both of them would have 20 rupees. So we might have to give 17 to person B to make sure there is equal participation. And as administrators and leaders that you are, it is important to recognize the pattern and identify wherever the gap is. In gender sensitization, a common topic that we miss out is the bias between women and men, the power dynamics. Okay. So let me give an example. I am a doctor who is a woman. Okay. In a place, it's very common for a male nurse to be called as Dr. Sir, and then a female doctor to be called as sister. Okay, these are common things that we practice. These are common things that we face on a daily basis. Okay, this is an example of gender insensitivity. We want to make sure we are aware of the truth, what is their actual position, and how we are addressing them also. And also, as a personal example, I could say when people are addressing women in power, it is generally with the name. And when it is men in power, it's with, sir or Mr. or doctor. So it's a very common practice across different workplaces, and it still exists. So that's what we are trying to improve. Correct. We don't want people to feel left out or treated in a way they don't deserve just because of their gender, either be it male or female or any other gender they identify as. So these are the gender biases. It can happen in very subtle ways also. So some example would be when there is a meeting, let's say, and somebody is trying to talk, interrupting them based on, okay, she is a woman, what would she know about field work? And giving an example. So what would he know about cooking? So when an administrator or somebody from the team is trying to give maybe inputs about how to put rangoli on Onam, for example. So interrupting certain voices in subtle way is also something called gender bias. So when, putting it very simply, whenever we are going to disturb somebody or try to not listen to them just because of their gender, it is called gender bias. Meaning we are partial to their skills just because of their gender and judging them based on their behavior. Okay, she is a woman, that's why I'm not putting her in this position because there is a chance of her having menstrual pain, there is a chance of her getting pregnant, or even focusing on family. But really, is it the case now? Because all of us are going to jobs, all of us have our own financial independence, and we all share work at home and all the things in common. So I think that narrative has to change if there is a thought still existing that women cannot handle leadership or men cannot handle household work, right? And also expecting only certain roles from certain people. For example, let's say there is a kitchen team, and how many centers across our own organization has male cooks, and how many, let's say, um, how many functional heads or status or women, how many people in administration are assigned to those roles. Still, I feel there are some gender role changes and dynamic shift that we will have to make. So there are small patterns, very small behavior changes that could, influence people in our own team, that could lead to more growth and confidence among people who are in the vulnerable category or people who are not often heard. Correct. So if you have a piece of paper, this you don't have to tell anything or show it, nothing. It's just for reflection. So please let me know what workplace safety means to you. If you want to tell it using your mic, please feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. Or you can even write in a piece of paper and keep it to yourself so we can discuss about it. So, workplace safety. What does it mean to you? So, in one sentence, if you're going to write, in my workplace, I feel safe when, and you fill whatever makes you feel safe. So, for example, in my workplace, I feel safe when I am heard. When, let's say, there is a security. I feel safe when people are respectful. So there are many reasons in a workplace that makes us feel safe. Correct? So does anyone want to share your thought about what makes you feel safe at workplace? I hope we're all here, huh? Does somebody want to share?
All of you please participate.
If you don't feel comfortable, we can move ahead also. Okay. So workplace safety means different things to different people. I hope you at least thought about in your mind. If you're not comfortable, share it also, because this posed a very important question when it comes to safety. What actually an individual feels about safety, correct? So uh, out of that reflection, I hope you have written or even thought about it. So did your sentence or your thought mention about respect or being heard, having fair treatment, meaning whenever I have some leave request, am I being treated in a fair way? Whenever there is an appraisal coming, is it a fair treatment between all other employees also? And is my administrator or reporting head being very supportive? See, a workplace becomes either a really happy, a joyful place to visit, or a hell where we feel when we like quit. Okay, it completely depends on what kind of feeling they get when they are entering the workplace. Are they being respected? Are they being greeted with a smile? And how is the leadership? I am sure you're all part of the administration. You lead somebody, or there is a team that reports to you. So there, are we being really supportive to them? It's not just about following rules, strict policies, SOPs, correct? It's also about, are we thinking in a way that would benefit everybody? And also, is it fair treatment for everybody? Okay, so supportive leadership makes or breaks somebody's employment, because I feel in especially in our country, we feel being very strict, very rude, not, smiling or having this rigid boundaries between administration and employees who are there is commonly seen as respect. Is it really respect or fear that we are cultivating amongst our teams? That's very important question to think also. At Thanal, I feel we are very open, and until they mention what is the designation, we really don't know if they're in administration or they're part of the program team or operations. So that is a very supportive leadership that we try to cultivate. And whenever somebody is approaching, they should have the freedom to speak openly. Correct. So this creates a space that is safe for people to work in. Our main goal is to understand as human beings that we all have problems at home. We have problems in our own individual lives. But when it comes to workplace, how can we make it easy or accessible for them to work there and to also suggest their thoughts and how they can also grow as a person along with the team. So that's what makes it actually safe. It's not about physically protecting them. Like I said, for women it's more about physical protection and emotional recognition. Keeping a security or keeping doors, grills, locks, it's not just about it, but also how we are going to protect them in terms of professional dignity and psychological safety, how we are also catering to other aspects of health for an individual. So it's very easy, when we talk about these things, we all know about this. We are already doing this. So why do we have to discuss about it? Because in the speed of time and our daily routine, we tend to forget certain important things that make somebody feel better. For example, if I'm calling you and saying, "Hi, good morning, how are you doing? Do you need some help?" So that itself changes the whole day for the person you recognize. Okay. Because whenever we understand each and individual person in our team and try to identify what makes it a good workplace culture, policies are very easily followed and implemented. Policies are there for people to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done. But it's also about including every other factor like gender sensitivity, bias, stereotypes, intersectionality into the conversation. So workplace safety includes physical safety, emotional safety, as in, for example, let's say I had a bad day at home and I'm coming to my day at work, and then I'm crying in my room, and there is my manager or reporting head coming to me and telling, "Do this work. Why did you not complete it?" And while looking at the person crying or feeling sad, or there is some changes in their regular expressions, it is important that we ensure they are also emotionally safe. See, this also increases the work efficiency, right? So if they are going to be protected in all ways, the organization, the work culture is also going to grow in a more efficient way. So that's why it's very important to discuss these things when it comes to workplace. So how are we maintaining the boundaries between personal and professional dignity? Are they being treated in a way that they deserve? Let's take an example. Our housekeeping staff, if you're running a team where there is need for cleaning staff, and how do you greet them? And how do you recognize them? Do you really tell them in front of everybody saying, "Why did you not clean the toilet today? It's not clean, it's dirty." Or would you call them separately, discuss the matters in a professional way, preserving their dignity? So that's another way of thinking how we can move towards an empathetic leadership practice. And every single person should have the freedom to express and participate in the activities that happen. So it's not just about having a security grill gate, it's also about emotional, professional, and inclusive safety. I hope you all have heard about the term intersectionality. Okay. Putting it in very simple way, inter meanings different. Section meaning a category, okay, from different category. How are we going to treat people from different categories? Correct. You it's not just about gender. If they are let's say in a major term, if they are men, women, or other genders, it's also about thinking through their experiences and what their background is. Let's say we are going to cut cake for somebody in workplace, but there is a person who cannot really afford. We are collecting only 50 rupees from each person, but that 50 rupee is also a big deal for somebody working for daily wages. Are we going to consider and then reduce their contribution, or still say, oh, I'm going to be fair for everybody, you also must give 50 rupees, otherwise it is not going to look like a team? So here, let me say, whenever we are approaching somebody with the same number or same treatment that we give to everybody, it's not going to work, because we're all individuals. We have our own uniqueness and individuality, and based on that, how are we going to approach others? It's not going to work by following a single paper or a policy document. So that's why intersectionality includes people from different socio-economic background, and also from different community, different caste, different region, different religion, because we are very diverse in terms of what we follow and what we don't follow. Let me give an example. So I am from Tamil Nadu, and most of our team are based out of Kerala. So when you call somebody as Eda, Edi, it's just a form, very common salutation or greeting, or you're just calling them, okay? But for me, from where I come from, if you're calling me as a D, the word D is not very professional, it's not very respectful, and it is going to definitely offend a person from Tamil background, which is very common for somebody from Kerala. So these are certain things that we have to keep in mind when we are approaching people from different background, from different region. And when it comes to, caste or community, it's very common. See, let's talk about the reality. There is still caste-based bias, there is still community-based bias, and especially religion-based bias. We all work in social sector, so we are all aware of this situation also. But how are we going to set aside the differences? Okay, how are we going to act as a team, but not blind to all these sections that exist? We're not going to tell, okay, I'm not going to consider that you are from this particular religion, we are all going to do the same things. No, that cannot happen. We have to make sure it is based on what their preference is also. So let's say all people who follow Islam are going to attend a prayer on Friday, where we allocate certain time for them. For example, 1 hour of concession for people who ever prays. So that is how we become an inclusive community, by understanding their needs and also respecting their spiritual belief. And when it comes to disability, so just think to yourself, are we really disability friendly? Recently also, we have very successfully hosted the Kerala Disability Festival. We have seen so many examples of inclusivity and initiatives that were taken up by people and as an organization from Thanal also. But are we really disability friendly? In very, very minor ways, let's say, keeping ramp outside the centers. How are we having access for the lift? Are the toilet spaces big enough to let a wheelchair enter? Is it safe for people who use walker? And are there any other modes of support in case of emergency evacuation? Are there any exits that are specifically mentioned or built keeping disabled people in mind? So persons with disability should be considered not with sympathy. They have their own skills, they are in the workplace because they deserve that space and they own that space. That respect should be given while treating them as our equal companions and colleagues, but also making sure it is a safe place for them and we are being inclusive in terms of their needs. Correct? And caregiving responsibilities. Maybe a nursing staff who work in our setup might have a dependent person at home. So they are requesting for us to consider, can I take leave because I have to tend to my parent? Can I come a little late or can I go a little early? So we still have to discuss with our existing policies and proper communication and reporting, and consider if there could be some special consideration for people who have specific responsibilities like caregiving, and if they are also a person who is undergoing some medications or procedures, that should all be considered. And also social vulnerability, how they are in terms of the societal stage. There are hierarchy that are present, but how are we going to keep everything outside of our organization while also respecting the differences that we have? That simply putting, intersectionality is about respecting everybody while also understanding the differences between us. Because I will not be the same person, I will not be having the same belief as somebody else in the organization. So what can we do? Can we tell, okay, we will remove everything, we will not give any concession to everybody, we will not do this for anybody, since there are differences? No. We are going to think in the opposite way. How are we going to incorporate every single difference and come up with a solution where everybody can meet in the middle? So that's what inclusive leadership is also about. We are going to recognize the differences and respond with empathy. And one more important thing when we discuss is, see, there is no place where it is completely safe. Okay, and there is nobody who is going to be the perfect example of being empathetic, kind, and giving. No. We definitely will be coming across some or the other threat to our safety. And in terms of, be it verbal, be it physical, be it in terms of financial differences and behavior, we need to set up some protocols and see the strategies of how to prevent harm and also how to promote this safety. Correct. So prevention is needed, and also we should have a line of SOP or procedures that we follow in terms or in case something happens. Correct. So it's a good workplace or a safe workplace is not somewhere nothing happens. Correct. If nothing is happening, then there is some issues with us monitoring it, because a workplace that is safe will have a space for people where they can talk about what risk or dangers they feel they are facing. So there should be a respectful communication, there should be professional boundary, and there should be team interaction. Oftentimes you sit with your individual team, talk to them how things are going, and understand their aspect of safety also. And we are working in the field, no? We are a social sector. We are an organization that mainly works with vulnerable population. So while we are focusing and prioritizing the safety of our clients, beneficiaries, how are we prioritizing safety for our employees? So awareness about what happens in the field, what happens in the outreach setting is also very important. So one thing is that it should not be about restricting people. Okay, you are a woman, so you don't go to the field, so it's not safe for you out in the field. Instead, we try to improve their capacity. We engage them in skill training and also about how to have a safe outreach practice, how they can protect themselves in the field if at all there comes a situation that is dangerous for them. Okay, so we are more about protection in terms of safety instead of restriction. So how are we going to maintain professional boundaries? See, it asking somebody, how's your mom, how's your father, you were talking about taking leave, going to a festival, how was it? These are all common things that create bond between the team members. But where does professional boundaries come? Okay, so whenever we are going to talk to somebody, I'm not going to comment about, oh, why did you cut your hair? Hey, why are you wearing a red lipstick? Or we are not going to talk about why did you wear this shirt tucked in? Or why are you coming in this vehicle? So these are some personal comments that are unnecessary that should be avoided to maintain professional boundaries. I'm sure you all must have felt a little uncomfortable because of some small comment that somebody made at workplace, because that could be something that is personally offending you, or the other person felt it's nothing, it's very simple thing to ask, it's nothing, so why are they being very sensitive about it? So these things can overlap sometimes personal and professional boundary. It's up to us to identify what makes us feel uncomfortable and express it very openly to person whoever is making the comment. Okay, there is also a need to respect the personal space and comfort and not engage in activities that could disturb their mental peace or professional safety. Okay, so like an example that I told, making comments about their physical appearance. Why are you becoming fat? You have gained weight. So these are some unnecessary comments that not going to bring any kind of efficiency or improve any kind of bond that we hold with the person also. In terms of professional boundaries, it is very important to observe any kind of changes the person shows. See, I'm not going to come and tell you, hey, why did you tell like this? Why did you talk to me like this? No. Not everybody feels the need to come upfront and be very assertive or tell it openly. Okay. Because we also fear, no, hey, what if this person doesn't talk to me after this? What would they think about me? Are they going to say it's a very small thing? Why did you even bring it up? So these are some certain things that we go through every single day, but miss out. This noticing or observing patterns will make the leadership even more efficient and create a better place. So basically, we're just talking about how we are going to identify bias, how we are going to prevent it, and what are all the things that commonly get missed out. Correct? So early signs could be an administrator can notice that there is repeated unwanted communication. Let's say there is a team and 2 or 3 colleagues are sitting in one place and just chatting about things instead of actually getting the work done, or they are discussing about some other colleague. It is the duty of the administrator or program manager to interrupt and also make sure it doesn't repeat. So unwanted communication could be an early sign of creating a workplace discomfort, because someone might want to work there and another person might want to talk about other things. So how are we going to maintain the balance is through identifying it very early and addressing it also very early. So like personal remarks about somebody's appearance, asking questions about personal events in life. And for example, including somebody is one thing, excluding somebody is another thing. Okay, when we are having a discussion about, let's say, how we are going to celebrate Diwali in our team, we are going to ask every single person, no, okay, they are from this team, we don't have to consider them. They are from the another department, we don't have to talk to them. So that's when the inclusivity gets missed out. Maybe they had a very beautiful idea, they wanted to also contribute. So making somebody feel lonely or alone in a team, we are calling it a team, correct? So that is an early sign of creating discomfort at workplace. And misuse of authority. Let's say maybe there is an administrator and you are asking another worker, okay, who is reporting to you, go get me some tea, go get me some water, okay, bring my files from here. So these are all very unprofessional ways, very commonly happening in a lot of workplaces. So misuse of authority is also a sign. Maybe this person was interested, okay, I'll fetch you some water in the beginning, then they have some other work, and that time also if they are needed to do this, then it becomes irritable for that person. They might not like it, and sometimes they might not even say it to that person. So this is where identifying very subtle behavioral changes is very important to Create a space that's not very hostile, because okay, they are let's say me. She's a doctor, so we don't want to disrespect her. So let's just do this, whatever she's telling. No, we want to make every one of our team member to understand we are all working in an organization. All have different roles and responsibilities. We are equally respected. Okay, and also it is very, very valid and acceptable to say no to certain things that are out of our scope or out of our job roles and responsibilities. Okay, certain things based on humanity we can do, but how are we going to keep that discomfort from happening? Okay, it is important that we talk it out or even report to somebody who can handle the situation. Okay, very small ignorant behavior can become a big report or even complaint of abuse in later period. So what is a leadership responsibility? So how can a leader respond to these kinds of different changes that you're noticing? So we have a rehab home in Bangalore, and I am managing the administration here. So when I notice somebody's efficiency is going down, somebody is not responding properly, not interacting with people, what would a person do? So what should I do in that situation? For example, we can call that person, uh, privately, and then make them sit and have a conversation. Just ask, what happened to you? Are you feeling okay? And if they are willing to tell it, allot a space for them and time for them to listen to it. Otherwise, if they're not willing, please allow them to continue their work and do not force anything or keep asking them about it. Okay, because listening without judgment, we are asking a question. So they can say, I'm okay, I don't want to talk about it, or they can even talk. So a responsible leader should be open to both yes and no from an employee without any judgment. So if they're comfortable at work, ask what makes them comfortable, regular feedback system. And if they're not comfortable, ask them how they could help to make it better. So guiding them in a way that is supportive would make a person feel better, no? If I am sitting here, I feel lost, and then I am talking to my reporting head, I'm asking the person, see, I am lost in this way. I don't feel comfortable doing this. What can I do? So, and then that person has a conversation with me, talks about what other alternatives we could do. I feel better, no? It's very simple human things that could be implemented at work also. It's just that we keep thinking, oh, work, I will not ask this. I will not talk at all. I will come, log, check in. I will see if my Zoho is working. I will sit, do the task. I will see if my checkout time is there. Log out, run away. So that it becomes like a machine kind of a routine, and it's not very supportive or encouraging for the person. So having certain skill development, trainings, engaging activities, relaxing, tasks or events that are conducted for people will also make it even more safer and a little more expressive for them to open up. Correct? So leadership responsibility is more about paying attention to our team and our people who are working with us, in which way there will not be a big task for you because of some distress or complaint. The main agenda is that we want to make everybody feel included in whatever we are doing. Okay. For example, there is an employee who doesn't speak at all in the meetings. See, even now we have a training and there is not much response, correct? But we assume that people are listening and they are following this along. Okay. So, for example, an employee is trying to talk and her ideas are interrupted. Okay, because now, for example, I am trying to tell something and somebody comes in between and talks. So, what will I do? I'll keep quiet. I'll mute my mic. And then I will think, okay, this person interrupted. So again, I will not maybe attempt. Okay. Instead, a person who is hosting the meeting asks, okay, so she tried to talk. I think we have to listen to her talk. Can we all hold on for a minute? Please go ahead and tell. So if this single statement is practiced commonly, okay, it can, it will take just 10 seconds, no? The person, whoever was interrupted, let's say one scenario where she was interrupted, the meeting just happened and ended. How will the person feel? Not very hurt, not very respected. And next time they will feel more hesitant to express something. But for example, if a senior leader is telling, let's hear her thought, the person might start feeling like, oh, nice. I've told something and there is a recognition for that. The person will be motivated to speak more, to contribute more, and also feel respected in that workplace. So it all starts with very minor moments at work and in leadership roles. Correct. And I am sure this happens throughout our organization, in many other organizations also. The major difference is that whenever some issue happens, how are we addressing it? So that's when the responsible reporting system comes to place and the support system should be implemented. Let's ask this question. How many of our centers have a feedback system? How many of our employees, let's say we have 2,900 employees, how many of them know how to raise a complaint, whom to go and talk to, and how to properly communicate what they are concerned about? It's a question for all of us to think. So when such things happen, I hope we think about creating a space for them to come and communicate. Yeah, we'll say, oh, I'm always available. I'm sitting in my room. I'm in the cabin. You can anytime come and talk to me. But think of a person on the other side. They might think like, okay, this person might be busy with a meeting. They might be doing their work. I don't want to disturb. This is a very common thought everybody has. I don't want to disturb you. And we even start the conversation with saying, sorry to disturb you. Correct? So to have a proper feedback system is essential. That's why we conduct regular daily meetings or operational weekly meetings and monthly meetings also. So reporting should have a separate system for harassment. Let's say there is a person, out of just jokingly, they have hit the other person. The person, whoever has received it, doesn't feel comfortable. They feel it is painful and I don't like it. It's embarrassing. So do they have the right to report it to somebody? Or most of the time they'll be like, okay, it's just a colleague that I also like, and this colleague is also important in the system. There will be no change even if I go and report about it. And it's a silly thing. Why should I report? But it is our duty to mention to all of our employees that even if it feels very silly or very small, it's very important to address it if they feel uncomfortable. Correct? And if they feel threatened. For example, a reporting head can say, if you don't do this, I will be seeing you during the appraisal. I will not be considering. So these are some very hostile or things that make others feel uncomfortable or discriminating. Okay. Oh, okay. So you are very thin. How can you handle this patient? You are very fat. How will you fit into the ambulance? So these are certain things based on physical appearance. And also certain things like, oh, you are from this community. How can you go to this field and work? So out of consent, if we are discussing all these things, it is healthy. But if we are going to judge them and put it as a statement, that's where the reporting is really essential. In terms of any unsafe situation where somebody is trying to harass somebody or take advantage of somebody, we should have a proper and a safe system for reporting. And what will we do? We hear something and we then go and talk to our colleague. You know what? This employee told this. So that's where the importance of confidentiality and keeping a space for privacy is essential. So these are all responsible methods we can use to report and also keep a support system. So reporting will help an individual to protect themselves, that way also protecting their career. I'm going to give a general example where, let's say, a person who is in the higher level, for example, he or she is an administrator, and there is a person working at the program level. They are a field worker. Okay, so this person is telling you, do me this favor, otherwise I will be reporting about you. Okay, this becomes a very bad and dangerous environment for that person to work. Okay, will they come and report to you? No, because that person might be depending on this money to work, this money to fulfill their daily needs and also their families. So apart from financial uh, constraints and apart from losing the career, they will also feel the shame. What will these people think if I go and tell this? I will lose my job. I might even lose my salary. What will I do? Where will I go and find another job? These all questions of insecurity will come only if the workplace feels not safe for them to talk. So there should be this team or support system that is always available for people to come and speak freely. This will prevent escalation. No? At the minor level itself, at team level, if this is happening, it saves a lot of pressure for escalation. So that will also be in a way when you protect somebody's safety, when you're focusing on the privacy and also without judgment, it creates a dignified workplace for everybody. So that's why when people feel comfortable to take support, it becomes a safe place and we all will have a happy team that is very interested to contribute to growth also. So how are we going to build an inclusive work environment? So when we talk about inclusivity, like we had mentioned, it includes all gender. It includes people from different background, be it financial, socio-economic, or religion, region, or community. It is also going to include people with disability, people with special needs, or other responsibilities apart from these 8 hours of duty that we are having with them. So equal participation in discussions when we are conducting meetings, when we are having team discussions, how are we going to include them? So like send a reminder to them, hey, do you want to join this? We are going to discuss about an event that is coming up. And how we address people. Okay, when talking to your higher authority, how are we talking? What kind of words do we use? What kind of respectable terms that we use? And what is the tone, behavior, the way we the way we behave in general changes, no? And how are we going to talk to somebody who is reporting to us? Is it different from the way we talk to a person who is in authority or who is, whom we report to? So if there is change in this dynamics, this has to be addressed because everybody works here. We all get salary. It might be different number that we get in our paychecks, but we all work for a similar cause. And I think at the end of the day, respectful language makes a big difference. It's okay if you are going to call somebody who is reporting to you as sir or ma'am, or if you feel like you want to use their name, it is completely fine. There's nothing like paying too much respect. Okay. But there is something called not giving enough respect. I feel it is in the kind and polite way that we discuss with people. It makes a big difference in the team. And it also creates space for them to grow. Only when they are respected, somebody's going to talk. No, if you're not respecting me, I'm not going to come talk to you. I'm not going to tell anything to you. So same kind of behavior is there for everybody. As we are all humans, we expect what we are trying to give in return also. So that's how supportive leadership behavior happens and how leadership could create a strong cultural change. Culture as in, I'm not talking about what we follow for traditions and all. The way we think as a group, the way we behave as a group, and how we are going to respond to some danger that happens. We are not going to close it, cover it, and say, leave it, it's going to cause issue, it's going to be messy, don't talk about it, don't raise a complaint. No, we are going to address each and every issue and also in a very respectful way without any judgments. So that's what this is all about, and how we can together make a change where a woman is not feeling different from a man and a man is not feeling like women have more advantage. Okay, if a girl says she's sick, she can take leave, but I have to go to the field and more of the physical work is imposed on me. So that's not what we're aiming for, but a combined collaborative effort where gender differences are respected but also treated in a fair, equitable manner. Okay. So Final reflection. In the beginning, we were discussing about reflecting what you feel is a safe workplace, and also about why you don't talk in meetings. Does somebody want to talk? Somebody wants to reflect on the initial thought we had, why people don't talk during meetings, and what feels safe for you. And if someone can tell me in one sentence what you would want to do to make your work better. Okay, so if I have maybe my own workplace, if have my own table and chair to work, my efficiency will improve. I would feel better. Does anybody have anything to share like that? I mean, this is a place where we can discuss things openly, and I hope it is safe and comfortable for you to express also. And there's no right or wrong. We are just talking about how we can include each other and work as a team, correct? So, one thing that you would consciously do as a team member to make the workplace more respectful and inclusive. One thing. Okay. So, think of it. It's okay if you are not saying it also, but I hope you're thinking about this question. How would you make it a better place for yourself and also for others? How are you going? What simple steps are you going to take to make it better for somebody else? Okay, so that is our personal workplace commitment and how we can make things better. So, one thing I will consciously do as a team member to make it more respectful or inclusive is to have regular meetings with my team members, is to individually address everybody's need and have a feedback system. So if you have certain things that you have in mind, please feel free to unmute and tell. So I would not feel like I'm talking to myself on a screen. So we must have space for better expression of ourselves irrespective of gender and age. Definitely. I feel the same also. Okay, because whenever you provide a space for somebody to talk and express themselves, it's going to create a lot of understanding about what that person has in mind, what they want to tell, and how it could be better. I might just feel like I need more plants in my room. Okay, but if, without asking, we are not going to express it. It's just going to be the same dull room, and maybe I want some space to rest for 10 minutes because sometimes I will have health issues, or maybe my work is different from others. Admins will have different work routine, and caregivers or housekeeping staff will have different work routines, and they need different space also to express themselves. And absolutely. And does somebody have any suggestion how we can make it better? So creating space is very important. Anything else? So it's just a final reflection. We have come to the conclusion of the session. I just want to discuss and take inputs. If you have something to discuss about how to make it better, you all will have, no? Do you have any suggestions for the team to, make it better, or how this could improve your workplace and how you would feel better working here? So it's not also just about expecting, it's also about giving. So what would I do as a person to make it better? How would I be respectful? How would I include somebody? Okay, so far we might have been thinking, okay, they might be not listening to me. I'm not very important. Okay, these people are a gang. So these are all certain things that we commonly think. But how are we going to challenge that thought? We want to try. speaking about it, tell what we are feeling about it, in which way it will be easier for us also to become expressive and contribute to the team. Okay, only when you talk, we will know no, that this person exists. All right. So, yes.
Uh, here, Sandesh ma'am,
Yeah.
we are having a one question about POSH, that we are actually addressing POSH for women, right ma'am?
Yes.
So how we can address for men safety issues in our organization, if any
Yes.
harassment?
So, yes, POSH is not just for women. One more update is that anybody who is facing any kind of threat can report to the POSH committee or HR or to the reporting head. Okay, action will be taken according to the policies. It is in general that for safety of women, it is implemented, but it is also for the safety of anybody who is working in that team or organization. Even men can raise complaints through POSH and it should be addressed. So in general, POSH has multiple layers to it and many things are included, but it has evolved over time and it's also inclusive for all genders. So misbehavior often occurs from individuals we do not expect, making it challenging to recognize or predict it beforehand. So is there any red flag that we can use for early identification? Definitely. So when we say misbehavior, it is when somebody is making you feel uncomfortable. See, even touching on the shoulder or, addressing you as dear, if it makes the other person feel uncomfortable, it is a red flag. Okay, so that's when if you don't address it right then and there, it can repeat again. Okay, for example, a coworker can come casually, touching on the shoulder and asking how is the work going. If you feel comfortable and you feel it feels genuine and there is nothing to worry about, it's up to the individual. But if you feel it is uncomfortable or you do not accept it and you feel not comfortable in that situation, it is important that you recognize it, tell to them not to repeat it. If it repeats again, please report it. Okay, so certain kind of misbehavior, easier way to identify is if it makes you feel uncomfortable, it is misbehavior. Thank you everyone.